Hey, it's me, Luna. But, if you want, you don't have to think of this as a video that's, in the studio on the mountainside. You could think of it as just you and me having a chat. And of course, me giving you a little headpats. Just wanted to sit down and talk for a while. I hope every single one of you is doing well. I hope your holidays were good, whether you celebrate whatever you might celebrate, or even if you don't, whether you got a long break or even just a day. I hope it was good for you. I hope you were able to spend time with the people that you love and care for, whether it was over the interwebs or in person. I hope you got to eat good food, but even if there was something special, whether you don't celebrate or maybe you had to work or something like that, I hope at the very least that it wasn't stressful for you. So, 2024, right? Where do we begin? Where does it leave us? How was the year for you? Maybe it was good. A step forward, or even a leap. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was regrettable, something you're not proud of, or just something that went wrong. And that's fine. Not every year of our lives is going to be the greatest year we could ever hope for, right? What's important, my friend, is that you learn from it. There's a saying, I forget exactly how it goes, but something like, failure is our greatest teacher. Mistakes are our greatest teacher. Something like that. So, even if this year wasn't, the greatest ever, it's still great in the way that I know you're gonna come out of it having profited, so to speak. Having, gotten better. If you haven't, it might be worth just it's kind of like I said in my community post, just as we walk out of that year, right? Just take a glance back. Look at how far you've come. See what you went through and just do a once over. See if there's anything you can take from that. Whether it was the good stuff or the bad stuff, stuff to keep doing, stuff to stop doing. And I know you all are amazing. And I know that you all can do that. And again, like I said in my community post, I don't want to see any comments or anybody saying in any Discord or whatever, but I'm not that amazing. Oh, shush yourself. Shush. You are amazing. I know you are. Even if it doesn't show on the outside. Everyone has greatness inside them. Yeah. It's kind of like if you don't know, I have an associate's degree in voice, and I really have the heart of an educator. I want to teach. But I've heard so many people tell me, oh, I'm just not that great at singing. I just couldn't do it, right? Or, I also have part of that degree is in guitar. So it's, part of people saying, oh, I could never play guitar, you never sing. It's like, oh, but you're so talented. And it's like, listen, okay? I only show it because I've done it for so long. And you can do it too. And this applies to everything. You have that greatness inside of you. And just polish it off and it's going to shine. I know you can do it. Some of you already have. Some of you have kind of done it. But whatever your stage is in that journey, I know that you can do it. So, don't any of you tell me that you're not amazing. Okay? I don't want to hear it. You are all amazing. And you all can be even more amazing. No matter how amazing you already are. Isn't that right? So, I'm sorry if the little tingles here that I'm trying to give aren't the greatest, In case you don't know, when I record, I use a Shure SM7B. It's a single microphone. It's a really nice microphone, but it's not, designed for ASMR. Now, hopefully, pretty soon, with some help from my patrons, I'll be getting a 3DO, and I can do some really cool stuff for you guys, but, I hope this is enough. But, anyway. How does this year fit for you guys? What does it fit in your life? I can tell you that, I've got some stuff going on the university side that didn't go exactly as I wanted it to this year. So this year for me is kind of a bit of a mulligan. So, trying again, doing some stuff and trying to get back on my feet a little bit. But that's fine because I've taken the opportunity to learn some more things, so it's kind of like one of those things where this year wasn't, or should I say last year, it wasn't bad in the way that it was all bad. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't great, right? But, as I said, there's still benefit to it. What about you guys? Did you learn some new things? Did you maybe find a place to be? Did you get good grades? Did you find a place to work? What did you take away from this year? Where does it fit in your life? Because every year it's almost like a puzzle, right? We're building a puzzle piece of what our life is. This is an inevitable piece of that puzzle. Maybe it looks like it's going to fit in a couple places. So, see where it fits in that grand puzzle of your life. And you know what? Maybe that's not going to be the greatest looking piece. maybe it wasn't great. Or maybe it was. Maybe it was great. Either way. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep your head up. It was something I said in my last little, improv on the fly audio. Then I said, your scars make you beautiful, so to speak. That's the metaphor. Which is to say, the stuff that you've gone through is really what makes you shine. It really what makes you learn, and it makes you get polished and makes you shine. Right? So, even if stuff's happened to you, keep your head up. I could be misremembering, but I'm also a really big history person. And there's this quote, I think it was Winston Churchill in World War II. And he said something like, if you're marching through hell, keep marching. I think that was him. If I'm wrong, just correct me in the comments. But I like the quote. If you're walking through hell, keep walking. So, sometimes life is like that. Life can be unrelenting, unforgiving sometimes, right? But we can't let it stop us, right? Sometimes stuff like that, it's like going through a tunnel. That's how I always think of it. Sometimes the tunnels are really long. It's dark. You can't really see much. It's almost like they're unlit. But eventually there is a light. And eventually you exit the tunnel. It's kind of like, as well, then night, when it's dark outside, right? There are times when night's pretty short, depending on where you are in the world, right? And, and, what, time of year it is. But sometimes the night's really short. And sometimes it's pretty long. I mean, right now, when I'm recording this, it's early January, just after the solstice. So, it is pretty, it's pretty long nights right now. But, there are some parts of the world, like the poles, where stuff like you have a really long night, like months or something like that. And then you have some day for like a couple months. Right? It's a whole thing that way. But remember, on every part of the world, no matter how long the night is, it always ends at some point. Sometimes it's really long, sometimes it's short, but it always ends. The dawn will always come. And often, I know you've probably heard this expression before, but the night is darkest before the dawn, right? Well, in my experience, though, it's cliche, but it's often true. Always seems like we should give up right before it ends up being, that it's going to end, that it's going to be over and we're going to be good. Or at least that it's going to get better. It might be over, but it's going to get better. because we make mistakes and we fail. But sometimes that's part of the night, sometimes it's part of the day, right? It just happens. But, my friend, just remember this, okay? There's a difference between failing and being a failure, okay? Failing is like falling over. Maybe tripping and falling on your face, right? And it hurts. I'm not going to deny that. It does hurt. It's happened to me plenty of times. But being a failure is when you refuse to get up. Failure is inevitable, but being one isn't. And I know every one of you has the power to get back up. Because as I said, I know you're all amazing. And I know you all have the power to get back up. Right? Right, my amazing little people. The thing about failure as well is that we grow from it. Sometimes it can be hard to recognize what we need to grow with, what we need to change, right? And sometimes change isn't great. It's natural for us, as humans, to not want to change. We like the status quo, as you would put it, right? We want things to stay the same because it's our comfort, right? People talk about the comfort zone. And sometimes pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone is a good thing. Doing it safely, of course. We're not going to risk ourselves getting, truly hurt. But pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone can be risky. You might have some pain from it. For example, recently I've been trying to work out a little more. I want to get swole. No, I'm just kidding. It's because I've had a medical prohibition on working out for several years now, and just now getting back into it, since I'm finally allowed to. And pushing myself, it's not even, walking briskly for like 40 minutes is... It's pushing myself, right? And of course it hurts a little bit, you're really pushing those muscles and everything like that, but that little change, that pushing yourself outside of that comfort zone, is going to lead to some good things. It's going to lead to, getting stronger and being able to do that more and potentially be doing even more, right? So... But at the same time, I'm not going to be sprinting for 10 minutes until I fall over dead. So that's what I mean when I say don't actually, really, really hurt yourself if you're going to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, right? So, just move up and challenge yourself. Don't hurt yourself, but challenge yourself. And you'll grow. That's how we grow. There's a common adage that I've heard a lot of people say, and it's no pain, no gain. I've heard that a lot when it comes to workouts and everything, right? And it's interesting, but I think it's a little more complicated than that. But the way I always thought of it is... Well, how do I explain this? It's almost like if I were to eat at a really good restaurant, And I've actually done this before, at least for a brief time. And it's interesting. If you eat in a restaurant and you're like, oh my god, I love this food, right? I could eat this every day. And then you actually try eating it every day. You're gonna eat it and it's just like, this isn't special anymore. Right? It's just what you eat. And so it doesn't really taste as good anymore. It just kind of tastes like food. That, specialness is gone, right? And that's because, it becomes that status quo, right? So it's almost like saying you have to have a normal that is normal. And then when you eat that special food, it's really special and it tastes so good. It's kind of like saying, in the more grand scheme of things, that if all we feel is pleasure, which is good, and not pain, which is bad, then pleasure becomes normal to us. The good feelings become normal, and they don't really feel as good anymore. So we have to have normal or even bad moments, because I know it sounds kind of callous, but they do help us appreciate the good moments. If you've experienced, it's kind of like saying, if you win every video game that you play, if I'm playing, some kind of, video game, and, all I ever do is win, then it's just kind of boring, right? But if I lose that match, right, and I'm like, oh wow, I really lost, but then I play the next match and I really give it my all, and I win, I'm gonna be like, that feels so good. I actually, really came back, right? And I won. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about with this kind of stuff, right? It kind of gives us meaning. Failure, pain, it kind of gives us meaning in life, a little bit like that. So that's another way to look at it. Because sometimes when people say that failure is inevitable, that pain is inevitable, right? It's very disheartening, that knowing that you're going to have to experience that. So try to frame it in a different way, okay? Frame it in a way that you can actually appreciate it. Of course, that doesn't mean you have to enjoy it. I'm not ever going to say that you have to enjoy the bad parts of your life, okay? I'm not ever going to ask that of you. But think about it in a different way. That way, when you're looking back on these memories, right? You can kind of think of them as profit, almost. Almost like you can really take these as the good parts. Maybe not good parts, but as okay parts of your life, right? Going back to that part where I said, your scars are what make you beautiful. Right? And really, something else that I feel like a lot of people don't think about. Everybody looks at selfishness, right? And when I say that word, there's probably such a reaction of, oh, that's not good, right? And, to a degree it isn't. After a certain degree, it really isn't, because you're ignoring other people, right? Well, some people think of selfishness as always ignoring other people and only getting what you want, right? And a lot of people will go against that and say, we don't want that, which is fair. I understand. But in a lot of ways, and even I suffered from this for a while. You think about that, and you end up doing the opposite. You end up, ignoring yourself in trying to give everything to others. Which is where I would say, in that way, you need to have some selfishness. You need to be able to think about your own self, your own being, right? Think about your personality, how your communication is, every kind of aspect about yourself. And make sure you're not neglecting yourself. I don't want to see any of you neglecting yourselves. Okay? No neglecting yourselves. Cool? Cool. Because it can really lead to some bad stuff. It's almost like saying, you don't want to invite anybody over to your house, right? If it's all messy. It's like if you have a group of friends, right? Let's come over and let's play D&D. Or, some kind of tabletop game or something, right? And you've got a bunch of stuff on the table, on the big table that you want to play on. Like, well, then we can't play. Or if we want to play, we'll have to clean it off, right? And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to come over to someone's house and clean it up. So, make sure to clean your house, so to speak. Be selfish. Spend some time for yourself. Don't ignore other people, but you gotta give yourself some stuff, right? I want every one of you to do that. As I said, it's only courteous to clean your house before inviting anyone over. And I know that's a lot that I've just, kind of rambled on about, where does the year fit, and talking about failure, selfishness, everything like that. But view them in a new light, my friends. Take these as parts of your life. And don't forget to get back up. Even if you have to rest on the ground for a moment. I hope you all are doing amazing. I hope you're having a good time in your lives, whatever it might be in. I hope if it's not going well, then I hope it gets better, right? And if you want, come on down in the comments and tell me how you're feeling. Or just say hi. I'm fine if you just say hi. And I'll say hi back. Alright. Hopefully I can do some more of these as well. Some more little rambles. Hanging out with you guys and stuff like that. Some more little, I guess you would call them personal attention to you. And, yeah. If you're sleeping, I hope you sleep well. If not, I hope you have a good day, morning, day, night, whatever it happens to be for you. I love you all. And thank you.